go. Tuesday, September 28th. Armani and Edwards, the bottom line on Woodward Sports. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's the good thing is the better question is how are you?
I'm real sensitive,
the Twitter world, man.
I am real sensitive today,
you set those Lions fans off, buddy.
Oh man. See, here's my thing. And we're going to get into this almost right off the bat here, Braylon, is, you know, people think that's some sort of hot take that I had yesterday with the Lions. That's just a Monday in football season.
Right.
Being a Lions fan. That's how we talk.
That's true.
So we'll get to that, but I'm very sensitive. My feelings are hurt tremendously.
You better get over it.
Braylon had to give me a hug today. Maz had to give me a hug today. Even Stan's wondering how I'm doing today. Stan Edwards, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine, but all of a sudden, I noticed something. I'm looking at the name with my title under my name. The first week I was here, I was Father Braylon, and then I was retired player. Now I'm former Wolverine. So I guess next year we're going to be dude off the street. My title changes every week, but I'm okay. Thanks for having me. Whatever you want to call me, just don't call me late.
How about Stan the man?
Old black
There you go. That works as well.
Yeah, our Tuesday conversation with Stan Edwards. Guys, and let's get right to it.
You didn't say hi to me.
I said hi to you, didn't I?
Nope.
Maz, I said you gave me a hug today.
You did.
How you doing today, Maz?
I'm okay.
I want to know how you're doing.
Now you can start the show.
I want to know how you're doing.
I'm good.
Good.
Looking forward to hanging with my guys. Braylon's back in the seat. I'm happy.
Oh, man, we're all happy today.
Good,
we got a full house here at Woodward Sports. Our guy Fish, Alex with us. So guys, if you pay attention at all on social media, and by the way, this is where you find us on social media, on YouTube, on Twitter. I mean, I was getting hammered yesterday for this take. I want to be very clear on this. I don't think yesterday's game writes the book on the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell era.
No.
You tell me one moment in that game that was any different from Matt Patricia, Jim Caldwell, Jim Schwartz, Wayne Fonts, any of them. What have you seen in the first 3 games of the season that lets you believe, you know what, these guys are different? This is a different type of Lions football. This group is going to get it turned around because through 3 games, and I know this is going to be a tough season, I have not seen one thing, not one, that leads me to believe that this is going to be any different from any other regime or any other year that we've seen of Lions football. When you're calling timeouts on 4th and 19, when you're going for field goals with a backup kicker that you just signed off the street instead of going for a touchdown, it's stupid that I even bought in. So first and foremost, if I can just say this, I am Mr. Positivity, okay?
You are.
I'm the one that says that the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl every single year, although I didn't say it about this year. This is a building year for next year for the Lions to win the Super Bowl. And I want to apologize to Wayne Fonts for including you in that list of coaches. Wayne Fonts did not deserve to be listed in that list of coaches.
Yeah, but Wayne Fonts won 12 games and went to the NFC Championship, and then he came back and lost and won 5 the following year. So I don't know if you're necessarily wrong on that.
Before I go any further, Braylon, weigh in on this. Was I too harsh on our Lions?
I think coming from everything that we've talked about thus far as the show's gone on and we've watched what Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, as well as the Lions have got going this year, I think I can see why fans may come after you. Plus, they like to come after people anyway. They come after anybody, especially when they tell the truth. As Adam said earlier, when people tell the truth sometimes, people don't want to hear it. They want to be coddled, and you're not coddling these Lions fans. The one thing I would say to it is, you're a guy that's been a fan of the Detroit Lions your whole life. You're a guy that has watched this franchise just create some of the, the most confusing blunders and decision makings ever. You've been watching that. So I think Sunday was a trigger for you. Like it was a trigger. It was some plays made that you're used to seeing, no matter which era it was, what coaching staff it was, or what administration it was. You've seen the same things happen over and over and over. And I think that, it happened again and it was a trigger. And so now you're looking at the game and you're noticing some mistakes. And there were some mistakes, but you got to take some of the good. They did some good things. And one of the main things they did was they kept They kept Lamar Jackson, MVP, Mr. Highlight. They kept him where they were supposed to. I said they got to keep him in the inside. They got to turn him into a pocket passer, and that's the way you're going to win the game. They did that. They held Lamar Jackson, in reachable range and almost won that game. Now, granted, Marquise Hollywood Brown dropped 2 touchdowns. It's a part of the game. They still were in a situation to win the game at the end. Because here's a flip side of that. If the Detroit Lions win that game, Justin Tucker doesn't hit the crossbar and bounce in. If it hits the crossbar and bounce towards us, what will be your conversation that following Monday?
Well, I probably have a much different take than the one I did, but the fact of the matter is that they didn't.
Right.
They did lose again in historic fashion, like they have every other year I've been a Lions fan. It was another history-making loss for the Detroit Lions, and I think that was one of my main points about it.
Yeah, as my stepfather always says, the Detroit Lions, another exciting loss. But with that, they almost beat. We're talking Lamar Jackson. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens, who their only losses in overtime against the red-hot Las Vegas. I got it right that time.
Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders, they're red hot, and they almost had a chance to beat Lamar Jackson and beat John Harbaugh, who's a tremendous coach, a Super Bowl winning coach at that. So you got to take the good with the bad. I think I've seen some good things. We frankly still don't even know a lot of guys on this team's name.
Right.
Like we're still trying to find them. They're still trying to find themselves. So, and I think they're doing some good things and some bad things. But you said you were going to stick it out.
Here we are, Maz.
Listen, no one has any more Lion gear than me, right? Am I wrong? Do I wear a Lion shirt
every day?
90% of my life?
Just about.
Yeah.
Okay, I live in Lions gear. I've been here since 1993. But the Lions were always my 3rd favorite team growing up. All right? Thanksgiving, I fell in love with them. Here I am in Detroit. Got to go to all the games, follow Barry, follow Chris Spielman, all the way through. Scott Mitchell, Herman Moore. It's the same crap. That's all Ryan and I said yesterday. They lose like nobody loses. They lose in historic fashion. Dan Campbell calls a timeout. He calls a timeout when the Ravens could barely even get to the line. The guys are out of breath on the offensive line. It's 4th and 19. Only the Lions can do these things. There's no other team that loses like the Lions. No other team where Justin Tucker kicks 2 60-plus yard field goals at the gun to win. No other team where Aaron Rodgers throws Hail Mary after Hail Mary. No other team where the Dallas Cowboys and the referees take a playoff game away from the Lions. It's historic fashion. You can't compare it. They are the only non-expansion team to not make a Super Bowl. I rest my case. Bengal fans, Brown fans, whoever wants to complain, you got to get in line because no one gets in front of the line in front of a Lion fan.
Stan, try to put it in perspective for us.
I did.
He actually did. But here's what I will say. Most of us who follow as fans, we have a very short emotional leash for the Lions. And so when things go wrong, we tend to say same old Lions very, very quickly. I do think this team needs to get a little bit longer of a leash because they're a very competitive team. They play organized, they're playing hard. I think they're outmanned. They don't have the players that most of the other elite teams in the league have. And so, but they're playing and they're in most of the games, at least for a half anyway. So I think we need to maybe just kind of hold off for a little bit. Give us another 5 or 6 games, and I think we'll have the true identity of where this team is going.
Stan, if I could respond to that too in all of this, and I think because they're undermanned, Braylon, because they need their coach to help them out, because they're so young, it was just very similar mistakes. Like, for instance, the timeout that we keep referring to.
Right.
Look, because it didn't work, because it essentially cost them the game, it allows people like me to second guess them. So when Dan Campbell talked yesterday at his Monday press conference, one of the things that he said was, we called a timeout to try to regroup and get everybody on the same page. Well, apparently there was a communication error, according to Dan Campbell. 10 guys were on the same page and 1 guy wasn't. How is that different? When Dan Campbell was hired, when Brad Holmes and everybody, I am so on board with this crew. They're outscored 21-0 in the second half of the Green Bay game. Like, is that being totally outmanned, or is that not being able to make an adjustment to win the game? You know, I went back this morning.
Don't forget the bot's fourth down there. The bot's fourth down on that Monday night game. If they make that fourth down, it's a different game. They gave up after that fourth down play.
It was a terrible play.
It was a terrible play. Goff was locked in on, I think, Cephas.
Green Bay,
Cephas,
and you had the underneath guys.
So I understand, but I mean, you look at Marty. In the last 25 years, we're talking. Just forget it. Go ahead, Stan.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's both. I think we are out, man, and I think we're making some mistakes, in-game mistakes on the sideline. This is Dan Campbell's first coaching job.
Yeah.
And we should expect him and other first-year coaches, i.e. the Eagles coach, wasn't this week, it was last week, making some rookie mistakes. Again, we are sick and tired of seeing it here in the Motor City. We want perfection like nothing else. And so we are quick to say, there we go again. We're outmanned, and we have a coach that has a learning curve. So those two things are going to have growing pains going forward.
At what point do you have to win a game, Braylon? Because I look at the schedule, and if it's not Chicago this
They got
week,
a good one coming up in Chicago.
if it's not Chicago this week, if they do lose to the Bears and fall to 0-4,
They will.
You're looking at 0-7 before Philly comes to Ford Field, and we talk about culture, and we talk about buying in, and we talk about this new Lions attitude.
Right.
At some point, don't you have to win a game for all of those things to make sense? And when you lose a game, the way in which the Lions lost against the Ravens, doesn't that just kind of chisel away, just keep kind of chiseling away, and you allow that, and again, forgive the phrase, that same old Lions tag to be carried on your back?
Yeah, I feel like, when we talked to Larry before the Green Bay Packers, as well as, we talked about it before the season even started. We said that this team and what they do from a coaching staff as well as the front office, they won't be measured. You can't really measure in wins and losses. Wins and losses will not be a good way to rate this team and to look at this team and assess what they were able to accomplish. How were they in games? Did they have a chance to win each game? So far, yes. They played 3 games and they were in all 3 games. And is that safe to say? They've been in all 3 games, and they played some pretty tough teams and pretty tough opponents. They just don't have the manpower. And I'm going to go back to what my father said. They don't have the manpower to beat certain teams or certain things in the close clutches of a game, in the close clutches of the end of the first half or a game. So I think one thing to take out of it I've paid attention to, look how they play for Dan Campbell, though. They get after it. These guys that are out there, they play hard for him. They
certainly like him.
They play extremely hard for him. They like everything. They've bought in. I think we just have to give them some time to see if they can maybe they can steal one of these. Maybe they come out there and get the win against Chicago in the end of the game and they can figure it out. But wins and losses will not be the way in which we will be able to describe this team and assess this team. It's going to be how do they finish games. Will they be able to steal one? And do we see people making the same type of mistakes, coaches or players?
Did you get a load of Micah Parsons last night, by the way?
Oh, stop it.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you.
3 tackles, 1 assist, and half a sack.
Speaking of Micah Parsons, you will not find a championship team that doesn't have an all-pro defensive lineman. It's not going to happen. You have got to have 1, possibly 2. You'll never find a championship team that doesn't have somebody on that front line that's all pro or Pro Bowl caliber player. We don't have that.
They don't have anyone on defense.
No, you got to get somebody after the quarterback. Guys, when we come back, I got to take a 30-second pause. I want to ask all of you, at what point do you stop judging this team by wins and losses? Is it in year 2? Is it in year 3? Is it in when they choose to get their quarterback of the future? Right. When do you stop judging by wins and losses and start massaging these guys and saying, oh yeah, it's just a rebuilding year? Because it's just, again, I feel like my whole mindset about this team has changed a little bit. We'll get to all that next. We got Stan in the house, Maz is here, Braylon's here. This is Armani and Edwards,
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for our good friends and our studio sponsors, MyBookie.ag. Tom Brady returns to New England for the biggest game of the year on Sunday Night Football. The stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're back in the Bucs or past this Sunday, the game's always more exciting when you got money on, and you can do it at MyBookie. Get in on the action, take it to a whole new level. Both teams sporting the top defenses. Nobody knows each other better than Brady and Belichick. Slow and steady will win this race, so maybe the smart bet is on the under. Don't wait around. Join MyBookie right now in the biggest game of the season. Use the promo code Woodward, and they'll double your first deposit. That's promo code Woodward to get double the deposit on MyBookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
So I think the question in response to all of the hate that I got over the last 24 hours in regards to my I give up tweet, my I give up comment, was at what point is it okay to criticize these guys? I mean, over the last 25 years alone, Marty Morningwig, Steve Mariucci, Rod Marinelli, Jim Schwartz, Jim Caldwell, Matt Patricia, Dan Campbell, 0 division titles, 0 playoff wins. They've had over the last 25 years, this franchise has had a double-digit win total 2 times. They have had back-to-back winning seasons once in 25 years. That was in 2016 and in 2017. In that year, in 2017, they were 9-7, but they were 1-7 against teams with a winning record.
Yeah.
At what point do you start criticizing these guys? Is it mid-year? Is it 2 years from now? Is Jared Goff the quarterback of the future that's going to win and compete for a division title for the Detroit Lions? I'm trying to get inside the mind of a Lions fan. When do you criticize these guys? Because what I saw on Sunday was a missed opportunity, and missed opportunities to me are very similar to every regime I have ever seen for the Detroit Lions, except Wayno. Wayne, I apologize for including you yesterday, by the way.
I think the big thing is for all those other regimes that you name, all those other head coaches that you name, you can name some Pro Bowlers, or you can name some players that, you know, they were consistent. You know, you can depend on them year in and year out. There was a couple guys that you knew, all right, well, we have this guy, we have that guy. Like, you knew you had some guys, but you were trying to bring other guys around them. You're trying to branch out, bring some more people in to try to enhance the brand that you were starting. Here's the first time you're like, who? Who are we building around? Who is it building around? Like, looking at the Detroit Lions, like, if you're not in the radio or broadcast, or you're not a huge Lions fan, if you're anywhere outside the state of Michigan, you don't know this team. You don't know anybody on this team. So I think you have to at least bear with the Lions and Dan Campbell this season and see how they progress. I mean, we're only talking about at the end of week 3?
Yeah.
And here's another thing. I don't think people are taking into account this year, and I've watched it, you know, so far this whole football season. That extra preseason game this year was only 3. Usually it's 4. I think a lot of teams are still playing behind the 8 ball. I don't think week one was actual start of the NFL season. I think it was the end of preseason, and teams are really still trying to get suited to their teams and how they're going to play the season. So I think because of they don't have that type of player to build around, that star player, they're really trying to do it. And guys are getting injured as well. They're placing things in there, like moving and shifting things around. I think it's tough. You got to bear with them this season.
I got to tell you, man, the people that are out there criticizing Ryan and I yesterday on our show and saying that we've gone too far, we don't know what we're talking about, our takes suck, it's week 3, grow up. Listen, man, first of all, you're all younger than me, okay? Second of all, you're not football smarter than me. I've watched just as many games as any of you, okay? I know what I see, and I see the same crap. The Lions who loses like they did on Sunday? No team loses like that. People are laughing when they're playing the video because they can't believe it. Nobody can wrap their head around it. And I want Dan Campbell to do well. I want him to do well, and I like him. And I'm going to give him a chance. But the proof is in the pudding. What we saw on Sunday, it don't change. It never changes. Has he been lionized? We use that word, lionized. I don't know what to tell you, Stan. Help me out.
Those numbers you read were staggering. I mean, gut-wrenching. I had no idea, some of the things you read. No back-to-back winning seasons. How many 10-game wins in 25 years? That's a couple things here. To allow Dan Campbell and his regime to change the culture, 7 years. Minimum 7 years. Who's going to wait?
Yeah.
Who's going to be patient enough? Based on the information that you just gave, I don't know if anyone's going to have that kind of patience. Because of the numbers that you read off, it's going to take minimum of 7 years to actually change the coaches. Here's what I think the problem is. And I'm going to a Detroit Lions reunion in about 4 weeks. The Fords have to decide who are they going to hire that is not here for a money grab. Because that's what's been happening here. It's a money grab. Because I do have friends around the league, some in front office, some are coaching, some are in scouting. And the Lions' job is you're getting ready to retire, or you just never had a chance to make 7 figures and you want to be a head coach and you can bring your buddy in, get paid, because in 3 or 4 years you're going to be gone anyway. So the Fords got to hire somebody and a consultant that they had before who clearly earned their course and didn't do them any favors. Because if he recommended Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, that had nothing to do with what was best for this franchise. That was a friend helping a friend out and a money grab. They have to bring some folks in who know how to assess what really is wrong with this program and how to build a football program and a team and then go from there. It may be here now. We won't know for another 6 years to 7 years.
Yeah, also, because I look at it, let's look at a team that might compare to the Lions. So we have like a sounding board so we can figure out how it is possible, or see a team that was like the Lions and they turned it around. Cleveland Browns turned it around. Cleveland Browns turned it around last year. But how did they turn it around? They went out and spent money. They look like an organization that wanted to get better. They look like a franchise that was tired of losing. Made some bad drafts over the years. They finally got it right in the last 4 years. They bring in Myles Garrett. You were talking about having that D-line. Yep. Arguably best defensive lineman in the league next. And this is with Aaron Donald in the picture. Arguably better than Aaron Donald. He's not, but he's in that conversation. That's how good he is. They went and got Baker Mayfield. Had to hold off with Baker. Baker didn't start off hot. But then you saw how he did the end of his rookie year, like in figuring out. They went and got Jarvis Landry in a trade to have to give him somebody to throw to. They went and got Odell Beckham, who hasn't worked out for him. But they draft Nick Chubb. They've drafted and they've spent money in the offseason. They've gotten rid of coaches that they didn't fit the vibe. Sometimes they got rid of a coach a little bit too fast, but for the most part, they've been spending the time, the effort, and the money to turn this team around, and you can feel it and you can see it, and it is being done. They have something to cheer for in Cleveland, right off Lake Erie. But you can see in how they built that program, like they gave you a reason to believe in them as the Cleveland Browns once again. That's what we need to see from the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell moving into before the trade deadline and then in the offseason.
Braylon, I think it's a little bit more than just spending money. You have to make sure you got a good quarterback coach. Everybody you got to develop the quarterback. You got to have the talent. You got to have the arm talent for that position. Do you have the quarterback coach that can develop him? Do you have the offensive coordinator? Sometimes he's a quarterback coach that can put him in the right plays, scheme him in the right way to make sure he's protected and you can move the offense. Do you have good strength and conditioning program? Do you have good scouting? Do you have a good player development? Do you have people that really know how? Because you can spend money and spend it on the wrong players.
Yeah,
but if you don't spend the money right, you're just spending money. But to your point, the Lions have not been known to really spend the money necessarily. But when you decide to spend it, you got to spend it right.
Stan, you make a point that I would never think about that stuff. You just assume that everybody's got a good scouting department, a good player development program, a good strength and weight program, a good nutrition program, all of those things. You would just assume that. Braylon, you mentioned the Cleveland Browns. The big difference between the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions, though, what are the two most important positions in football? One, quarterback,
left tackle.
Defensive end. Somebody to get after the quarterback. Right. And when you hit on Baker Mayfield and Myles Garrett, I mean, that's one hell of a starting spot. You just said yourself, who are you building this team around right now? Who? Because
they chose Penei Sewell. Well, that's who they're building around.
Okay, this is the year 2021, right? In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the last 6 what do you call it? First round picks.
Yeah.
Jeff Okudah not playing. Hawkinson, Ragnow, good. Jared Davis gone. Taylor Decker hurt but good, and Lakin Tomlinson
gone.
I mean, you've got three. You've missed on 3 first round draft picks in the last 6 years.
Never mind the second and thirds that are here.
Yeah,
and that was my conversation. I was more so talking about how the Cleveland Browns have been successful.
Right,
so I was giving like the blueprint.
Forget about the second and third round pick. Yeah. You missed on 3 first round draft picks. Well, Okudah, Davis, and Tomlinson since 2015.
When right before the draft, maybe 30 days before the draft, the Baker Mayfield draft, when he started going up the charts, people were like, you got to be crazy. He's only 6 feet tall. He doesn't know what he's doing. Somebody knew what they were doing in Cleveland.
Yep.
This boy is insanely accurate. He just has some other things that he needs to work on, and they put in the running game around him. People thought they were foolish to draft Kyler Murray in the first round. You just drafted a quarterback in the first round the year before. Kyler Murray can play.
And Rosen is a third-string quarterback.
Kyler Murray can play. Yeah. You have to have people in your program, your organization, that know what they're doing. Yeah. And that's easier said than done. You have to, the Ford family has to have someone sit next to them that know when they're hearing what they need to hear that this person is the right general manager, this is the right offensive coordinator, this is the right scout that's going to lead your scouting department. All that has to be in unison, has to be very good.
Yeah. Look, the word on the street is Sheila and Rod Wood made the coaching choice. Okay? That's the word on the street. You know who wanted this job? Is Robert Saleh. I'm just saying it right now. He would have walked here on all fours from Dearborn to Allen Park to get that job. That's the word on the street. But guess what? Rod Wood and Sheila like Dan Campbell. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Dan Campbell. Robert Saleh went to the Jets because he didn't get this job. It's not any other way. That's the word on the street is all I'm going to tell you.
Well, time will tell if that word on the street
I mean,
if it made sense or not.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Campbell may turn out to be a better coach than Robert Saleh. Time will tell that.
Yeah, and again, I am not here to tell you that Dan Campbell and this regime are not going to work. But what I'm saying is I'm very disappointed as a Lions fan through 3 games based on the last 25 years. Forget about 1957. Yeah. Based on the last 25 years of all this losing, I just can't take it. The way they're losing. Can't take it.
But it's a consistent, and you should be used to it by now, especially. And this is when they had good players.
Yeah.
This is when they had people that are going on Hall of Fame. Calvin Johnson has a yellow jacket after this year. You know what I'm saying? Matt Stafford, look what Matt Stafford is doing. They've had players, and to understand that losing when you have those players or you have a good defense like they did in 2011 and 12, they don't have any of that now. So you need to lower your expectations and your hopes because you're not going to get anything anytime soon with this Detroit Lions team and what they have.
We'll get back to some Lions talk in just a little bit, but I want to get into some college football, get your takes. Michigan State both struggled a bit this weekend, both perhaps lucky to come out with a win. We'll get your take. Braylon, Stan, Maz, yours as well. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey guys, let me tell you a little something about Lady Jane's, okay? It is as easy as it gets. You want uncomplicated, we've got it here for you. All we want to do is watch football 5 days a week and look good, right? We want things uncomplicated. So all you got to do here at Lady Jane's, you walk in, you sign in, you sit down. Before you know it, you are looking handsome and clean. Ooh-wee. Get to Lady Jane's 10 to 8, 7 days a week. We are open. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
You do look good, by the way. Man,
Braylon.
I don't want to leave you hanging on that.
No, man. I'm feeling good, too. We'll get into some college football in just a little bit.
You feeling better, by the way?
Yeah, I do I do feel better. I think I get so frustrated because I'm so emotional about the damn football team. And when I went back today and I looked at these numbers of the last 25 years and these 7 coaches, And the fact of how, because I was trying to figure out, was I really wrong? Was I really off base with my comment yesterday?
No, you weren't. Something else is stressing you out, and I had to deal with this. I made some comments about Michigan when they were struggling. The Notre Dame game, the rest is history. But it was passion. It's been, and I didn't tell any lies. It's passion. The same thing you did. But with the Michigan fan base, and that's the state of Michigan, whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Spartans, whether it's the Wolverines, like, even when you're telling the truth, you can't beat up on them too bad, because what happens is the fan base, they'll try to come after you. They'll try to take out their frustrations and their anger on you for talking about their team. So you just got to tell it how it is and stop paying attention to that. Half the people on there that were talking about you or said something on there, they don't know half about the regime or none of those numbers. So don't even worry about that.
But again, Maz, it did give me an opportunity to pause. And because of all the hate I got on social media, because of the comment, it got me to reevaluate the take, how I feel about the organization, and really go back and look. And when I see over the last 25 years and these 7 coaches and 2 double-digit winning years in 25 years, and that's, I'm not saying 13-3 or 14-2.
Just 10.
Just 10.
Yeah.
Twice in 25 years. 1 set of back-to-back winning seasons in 25 years. And by the way, they didn't make the playoffs that second year.
Right.
1-7, Jim Caldwell's final year, they were against winning teams. Yeah. So I sit back and I say to myself, what is different? How long? Stan, you're saying 7 years.
That's a lot, man.
I mean, so.
But he's saying change the culture.
And the only way you change the culture is if you win. Sure. Not if you're close. Not if you're playing. Oh, you held Lamar Jackson under 100 yards. Oh, you were expecting to lose this game by 2 touchdowns. Yeah. At what point?
The spread was 7, by the way.
At what point do you judge the guy on wins and losses? Is that after week 3? Maybe that's a little bit too early. But it's just mind-blowing to me how bad this franchise has been, and then I just see similar things happening throughout.
I agree with everything you said, and I agree with everything about the past and what we've been. But the fact of the matter remains, we talked about this going into the season. We didn't know who was going to be what. We were trying to find receivers. We were trying to see what was going on with Jamal and or with Williams and Swift, trying to see how the line was. We liked the line. We talked about the secondary. We broke the secondary down extensively. Talked about how bad they were. Talked about the defense as a whole. Heck, we even talked about kicking. We said kicking was going to be an issue going to the season. So I said, knowing all of that, he's playing with a team that is undermanned. They're bad. They're a bad undermanned team. So, I mean, what do you expect? Like, what can you really expect from the Detroit Lions this season?
Listen, guys, and I'm going to just take it down my own rabbit hole, okay? I know how you guys feel about what I'm going to say. I want to ask Stan this. I told you I didn't like the pick of Penei Sewell. I thought there was better players for the Lions at that point. You already had a pretty good offensive line, and it's supposedly going to be great now. Okay, that's great. We don't have anybody else around it, but that's good. So I wanted somebody that will stick out. And I keep going back to Micah Parsons. But it's one piece on the defense you could have depended on, a kid like that on the team. So, Stan, I'm going to ask you this. Right now, it's a couple of months past April, right? It's a few months past April. The draft's over. If you had to do it again, are you still taking Penei Sewell with that 7th pick?
Oh, I would have never taken Penei Sewell with the 7th pick because they don't have the defensive front that I know you need to be a championship caliber football team. Penei Sewell's a good player, but that wasn't the greatest need at that position. He might have been. They may have thought he was the best player available at that time, but he wasn't. When you go look back at their draft picks, Matt Stafford was a no-brainer. Ndamukong Suh is a no-brainer. Calvin Johnson's a no-brainer. But no-brainers are not no-brainers when they become, Jeff Okudah and some of the other picks that they've had in the first round. Like, what are they doing here? And so you really have to understand that just picking a first-round pick doesn't automatically guarantee you an all-star type of player.
Even if he becomes an all-pro, and I've said this, Micah Parsons will become an all-pro. These quarterbacks that we're taking after, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, these guys will eventually become all pros.
Or at least we expect them to.
Yeah, we expect them to. Yeah. They were there for the taking. So if you take, let's say, Micah Parsons at the seventh with the 7th pick. You could come back in the second round and take Rashawn Slater, who is a right tackle, by the way, and you didn't have to force poor Penei Sewell to go from left to right and screw the kid up. And I'm not saying he's screwed up, but guess what? When Taylor Decker comes back, and we'll have some sound for you on that from Dan Campbell, when he comes up, that's going to be another question. Are we moving him? No, because Taylor Decker right now is the better left tackle. And we had Chad Johnson in here last week telling us so and giving us the numbers on that. I'm just saying, they jumped up and down for Penei Sewell. That was lionized. I'm telling you right now.
There's 2 positions in the NFL that really require time and development. Offensive line, defensive back. You can get those guys to play well and get them later in the round, and they become good. They can become good players for you if you have the coaching staff to develop them.
At the crux of my issue, Braylon, and I keep going back to, why did I buy in so much to Dan Campbell? And again, I'm not writing a book on him, and I hope all of these haters out there, or all of these people freaking out, heard that part of the clip too, where I say I'm not writing the book. It just feels there are things that feel very similar so far. And I'll give you 2 examples if I could. Right. One, what he said yesterday in his Monday press conference about calling the timeout, saying that there was a communication error. There were 10 guys on the same page and 1 guy wasn't. How is that not any different or similar to years past, to any of the 7 coaches that I remember after a timeout? By the way, that wasn't a communication error on the field. That was a communication error after a timeout. So how's that different? And number 2, you just mentioned Penei Sewell. What's the plan for Penei Sewell? Apparently, they don't know. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say just yesterday. Here's Dave Burkett's question to Penei Sewell. What is the plan when Taylor Decker gets back? What is it, Dan?
2 last things, just since you were just talking about Penei. Have you made a decision yet on whether Penei's staying at left tackle when Taylor returns?
No, we'll wait for Decker to get back before we decide what to do with that.
What do you mean you don't know?
Yeah, it sounds like some confusion right there. Hey, man, maybe he's looking at the situation.
Didn't Fraley tell us they already knew? They already knew.
But once again, 10 guys were on the same page and 1 guy wasn't. Maybe it was Dan Campbell this time. Just going back to something that Matt said real quick. You talked about the pick of Micah Parsons over, Penei Sewell or some other ones they could have drafted. The difference is, and we got to give it this difference, at least with Penei Sewell, you've already seen it was a good pick in terms of his play. They didn't misassess his play. He was a good left tackle.
I agree with you. I'm not,
because we've had some first round draft picks here in Detroit over the past 10, 12 years that were terrible, that are no longer here, that weren't no longer here after 2 years. You're already talking about getting rid of Okudah, and this is his 2nd year and he has injury. So at the least we see some talent out of Penei Sewell.
You got a starter out of that position.
That's a big deal for them.
By the way, so did Dallas.
No, it's fine, man.
Okay. No, it's not fine. Because look what he does for that defense.
Stop crying over
one of the worst defenses in the league.
Stop crying over
He's turned them around.
Everybody in the country was talking about Penei Sewell after the first 2 weeks.
Not me.
Same as, you're one person because you're biased. Everybody in the country was talking about Penei Sewell after the first 2 weeks. Sounds good to me. Sounds like at least they got a first-round draft pick right. I'm not saying that they should have taken him over Parsons or over Justin Fields. But what I'm saying, for the first time, you had a first-round draft pick here in Detroit that people are talking about nationally. That's something different.
I'm with Braylon on this one. I'm with Braylon on this one.
On that particular pick.
Let's beat the team up for stuff they get wrong, not for stuff they potentially get right. Penei Sewell.
They didn't need him then.
But
you heard Stan.
Maybe he was the highest graded player on the board.
I don't know. Their board sucks.
Okay, that's fine. But
when has their board been right?
I have a bigger
Mel Kiper is better than them. I'd rather follow Mel Kiper than them.
Wow. Penei Sewell is a solid starter.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons was the next Lions no-brainer.
Yeah. And I agree. I was more so saying they chose Penei. They blundered the pick. They blundered in terms of, in your mind, who was graded higher or who had the highest upside. So maybe he had the highest upside. I give you that.
Who was needed more?
All I'm saying.
Who was needed more?
Gerard Davis. Do you recognize that name? What I'm saying is
they had Jamie Collins.
Eric Ebron. We've made some selections in that first round, and you were like, upset with the franchise, and it proved to be upset with the franchise. At least this guy can play at a high level.
Oh man, there's no doubt. It's just an organization that has been abysmal, and when you continue to lose games and you continue to do things that allow you to be second guessed. We talk like this. I got to get to a break. Come right back. More of Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
I think we're back, man.
Matt's on fire, man.
Man, we were looking for a fire extinguisher during the break. Put him out, man.
Oh,
He's still
man.
going.
That's great stuff.
I think this next topic might get him going even more.
Yeah, guys. So Michigan beats Rutgers 20-13 over the weekend, and now it's on to Wisconsin. In week number 5 for the Michigan Wolverines, 4-0. Stan Edwards, I will come to you first on this. A 20-13 win over Rutgers. Your assessment of said win is?
My assessment is that maybe it is starting to show one of two things. One, Michigan is not as good as we thought they were yet, or Rutgers could be a very good team, and they are showing that they can play with the big boys by making it close as it was with Michigan. And I don't know which one. I think next week we'll get a step closer. I think the win against Rutgers was an eye-opener for a lot of us. I think they averaged under 3 yards a carry. They didn't pass the ball well. What's the coach name?
Schiano.
Yeah, Greg Schiano.
Yeah.
Being had a brain fart there. Being the defensive wizard he is, decided to stack the box and say, okay, I'm going to let you guys see if you can pass the ball and beat us. And so that serves for the recipe moving forward, how to stop Michigan. I assume that Wisconsin and others will do the same. But I think the win was a good win, and we won't really know how good a win it is until we see Rutgers over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
How about Cade McNamara? What was your take on him?
I'm not so sure he's ready to play yet. I think he's the difficult part when you got 2 quarterbacks that are capable of playing. You got to decide on one. You really got to leave the young guy on the bench, though. When I think about it, you got to leave him on the bench because every freshman is not ready to play. When they come in and they get blindsided, you may lose them for 2 years. So you got to go with the older guy and just work him in and just see what happens.
Yeah, the big thing for me is Michigan State and North Michigan, they look like they had looked in previous weeks. The difference on offense, though, for me is Michigan State had other ways to go with the ball. Like the running game wasn't necessarily working with Walker III. Well, they went to Naylor, had a huge catch. And they went to Mosley, and they went to the other receivers. They went to Reed. Like they found a way to get the ball down the field. This is just talking about offense. When I was watching the Michigan game, and it seems like it happened after they got stopped right before the half and ended up having to settle for 3 points, it seemed like after that they never got back clicking again. They stacked the box on the run. They couldn't pass. Cade McNamara, they just could not pass the ball. And he doesn't have that many passing attempts, which means they don't have a lot of faith in him. Hey, these games happen sometimes. In my junior year, we played Oregon, okay? Chris Perry was already, after week 2, one of those September Heismans that you talk about. He did go to a downtown New York club, and he actually was a part of Heisman. But they shut him down that week. Oregon shut us down. They said, you know what? We're going to stack the box with Igor Olashansky and Haloti Nada. Man, that was a tough defensive line. And see how can you beat us outside that? Well, Steve Bressler had 100. I had 100. Jason had 100. We lost the game. But you were able to at least see, okay, well, they can at least do other things. I didn't see that for Michigan. What I saw is they can't run nor pass unless they're in a comfortable situation or they're playing a lesser opponent. So it was scary for me.
One of the things about Cade McNamara that I just confused by, and I don't understand, and maybe you both can help me with this. Forget about the passing. On some of these read options where the box was stacked, I mean, I'm at the game, and there is gaping holes if he just keeps the ball. There's nobody on the outside. He never once pulled that ball out of the running back's belly and kept it himself and ran. Never one time did he keep it himself on the read option, Stan.
So I don't know how he's being coached and what his reads are. So maybe they want everybody to think it's a read option, and it's really a handoff.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really a handoff because we don't want to get him hurt, and we don't think he's a very effective runner on top of that. So where it may look like an RPO, but it might not be just a read option at all. It may be a total handoff, but just to try to keep the defense honest.
Wait, Ryan, you also said yesterday, I'm like, he has no one to throw to, really. He's got Lionitis because they have no one to throw to either. But then you said these guys are open.
Look, when you're at the game and you can see the whole field, I mean, those receivers were open. I mean, maybe the ones that he was throwing to weren't, but there were receivers open on almost every play if you work through your progressions. And it's a lot easier to say sitting in the stands watching everything develop in front of you than actually in the game, I'm sure, Braylon.
Yeah.
But those receivers, many of them were open multiple times throughout the day.
The big thing is they didn't have a strong wide receiver core coming into this season. Right. And then their best wide receiver, who's actually a pretty decent wide receiver, Ronnie Bell, he gets out and he's out for the year. He doesn't have that safety blanket, so now there's no trust. Like, in order to develop trust, you got to throw the ball to a wide receiver for him to develop trust. In order to throw the ball to a wide receiver, you got to trust it. So it's like this weird circle of which one came first, the chicken or the egg. And it just seems like it's tough for him. He doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know if he should trust anybody. But he's got to find somebody. He's got to find somebody, Dylan Brown, like whoever it is. He's got to find somebody during the weekend and make that his target. Really get to, because his first time really starting a quarterback. We don't know if he can get through his progressions or his reads. Even if he had a really good receiving core, we don't know if he can get through his reads. So now that he doesn't have a good receiving core, or at least somebody he can depend on, it might be tough.
It does feel like the better quarterback is on the bench. And maybe that's just part of being a fan.
We say that all the time.
About every team.
Yeah.
You just feel, about not every team, but many teams you feel like the better quarterback is on the bench.
It's like that every year. With Jake Rudock, it was put Willie Spade in. Right. Willie Spade has put John O'Corn in.
I know.
John O'Corn, and the list just keeps on going.
Maybe it's
dumb
to say, but it just feels like
Shea
that.
Patterson
I think JJ is fine on the
McCaffrey
bench right now because it takes a very unique freshman to come in, particularly in Big Ten play or Power 5 play, that can come in and take the pounding week in and week out. You don't want to have musical chairs at that position. You want to get a guy in there and get solid. Now, if Cade plays himself out of the position, that's different. But right now, I think JJ has to sit.
The other part of that too.
Can I get a break in real quick and then you follow up?
Sure.
All right, let me get a break in. Braylon's going to respond to this, and I want to get a thought on Michigan State. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Hey gang, it's Maz for Legacy Partners Insurance. Nobody wants to shop for insurance. Nobody really has the time to do it. So why not let an independent agent do it for you, someone that's local and knows the local insurance market. That's Legacy Partners Insurance. How could you trust them? They've been around for over 100 years. Not only that, they're going to give you a free quote, and they're going to do all the shopping for you. They're an independent agent, so they do the shopping. That means they get the carriers to compete for your business. So give them a try. 586-209-4106, or go online to legacypartnersins.com/Woodward Sports. Fill out the information. It'll take you a minute, and then let someone from Team Maz and Team Woodward here hook you up. You're going to save hundreds, maybe thousands a year. Trust me, I've seen it many times. Legacy Partners Insurance. Tell them that Maz and the gang here at Woodward Sports sent you.
Woodward Sports Bottom Line, Armani and Edwards coming back after you. I was going to just say this, though. My dad, you were talking about the quarterbacks and playing and should JJ play, should K stay the guy. They don't have any receivers right now. Like, they're trying to find his receivers out. So if you bring a guy in, a freshman guy in, and he doesn't have anybody to throw to, like, what's going to make him different than what Cade is doing? Like, if you look at Cade's numbers and his attempts, it shows you that either he or Harbaugh, Gaddis, the offensive coordinator, are trying to find someone to get the ball to. They're trying to find someone to step up, and they can't find that yet. So if you put a freshman in with the same receiver core that you can't find anybody to throw to, or no one that you trust to the bulk of the load, like they don't have anybody on the team who got over 3 looks.
Braylon, let me ask you about this week's game against.
They got no guys over 3 looks. That's tough.
That's crazy. That's and you probably don't like that as a wide receiver too much, do you? Like you put all that work in during the week, and you're like, "Hey, bud, over here, standing wide open." I don't know. I want to ask you about the Wisconsin game, though.
You don't mind when you average 350 a game, but when you come up, when you're under 120, then you mind.
Well, let me jump in and just say something before we go to Wisconsin.
This is great.
And the same thing I said about the Detroit Lions, the same thing applies for University of Michigan. We are always told how good these players that they're being recruited coming in by all the local Michigan recruiting pundits from 24/7 Sports, Rivals, and all
entitled.
that. All these guys, this kid, he's going to be. And for years and years over years and years, we get these guys that come in and never perform at the level that we are told that they're going to perform at. To your point, this is a prime example for this quote unquote next 3-4 star receiver coming in to step up and make a name for himself, and nobody's doing it. It's not just at that position. It's been going on at a number of positions in that program from these local pundits for about the last 15 years, and I'm sick of tired.
6-star guy coming at you.
It's because
those guys need to be fired too. I'm sorry.
They are analyzing. Like, if you're going, that's a recruiting issue. It goes back to recruiting. It goes back to just looking at some video of some guy who's bigger than everybody in his league that has a 5-star, or you're looking at, he's a 5-star, he's great, let's recruit this guy, or he goes to a prep school. That means he's a Michigan guy too. Like, it goes back to recruiting. You got to do your homework. You got to go in there on Friday nights. You got to see how a guy plays live and in person. If a guy has a bad game, you want to see how a guy responds, how a guy plays when he's under the lights and he's playing against another 5-star. Like, you want to have all the, like, that's how you analyze talent. And I don't know if it's happening, because I tell you what, this wouldn't be a problem at a lot of other institutions. And I hate when people hate when you compare, but that's what we do. That's how you break down. That's how you get to the bottom of things. It wouldn't happen like this at other institutions, because it's always next man up type mentality.
Different regime, same school. I'm going to be a dad for a second. He was the last one on that team in the 2001 class to get a scholarship. What the word got back to me was they waited to offer Braylon because he didn't have scholarships from other people. And I'm like, you're the University of Michigan. Why do you need somebody else to evaluate your talent for you if you're Michigan? I was told, he didn't have a whole lot of other offers, so we didn't offer either. Whoa. He can play. If you knew that, you wouldn't have to worry about to see what everybody else did.
Think about that.
Different regime. I don't know, maybe same philosophy.
Think about that, though, Stan.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the all-time leading receiver in Michigan football.
Almost didn't get that chance.
143.
Brian, I have thought about that. Trust me, I have.
Can't you tell?
Like 143 years of Michigan football.
Almost didn't get that
the
chance.
all-time leading receiver in football in Michigan nearly passed on that guy. Yeah. Because he didn't have offers from USC.
And I feel like it happened on accident, too. It was that Wisconsin game. Lloyd got that big win that Wisconsin game, came in the locker room and said, hey, you want to go to Michigan? I said, yeah, I do.
and found out later on, Reggie Williams from Washington
decommitted.
Chose Washington, so another scholarship became available.
Wow.
And then he got punished and had to go to Cleveland.
Talk about some behind-the-scenes information right there.
How about that? Braylon, let me come to you about this Michigan-Wisconsin game, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about it throughout the week. But Maz and I were messing around yesterday. We're like, we already can play this one out. Either Michigan loses to Wisconsin and they're Jim Harbaugh can't get it done on the road against Wisconsin again, or they beat Wisconsin, they go to 5-0, but they beat a 1-3 Wisconsin team. I mean,
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But you got to go take care of business.
You got to take care of business, and when I watch this game, first of all, can we talk about teams like Notre Dame and Alabama that don't want to go and play teams at their home? They want to go to the neutral site. Like, is that some BS? And I tell you what I mean by that. This game was tied at the start of the fourth quarter. Now, if this game would have been tied at the start of the fourth quarter, and they were in Madison, and they were playing that jumping around, everybody knows how it gets down with the jumping around. It's been a whole different ball game. They played that at Soldier Field at the start of the fourth quarter, and it was like nothing was going on.
Thud.
It was exactly. It was like you heard some noise, but you didn't know what side it was for. With that being said, their defense is a lot better than I thought they were. I mean, There's some miscues there. There was a pick six. There was a special teams return for a touchdown. So the score is misleading, although it was a butt whooping in the fourth. I think Wisconsin's better on defense than I thought they were, and their quarterback is exactly how I thought they were. He'll give you the ball. The interesting thing is Wisconsin doesn't have an offense. They don't have a running game. They don't have a running game for the first time since, I don't know, I can't even go back that far. Who played before Ron Dane?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a running attack. So I think this will still be a good win for Michigan and this team. One, it's a good win because it's Wisconsin and Wisconsin. It doesn't matter what their record is. Two, Jim hasn't done it. So it'd be good for him to go up there and get one on the road, something that he hasn't done in his Big Ten resume. There's a couple other things, too. I think it's a chance to get a big win for Michigan. I still think they can have success against Wisconsin, but they're going to have to find somebody to throw the ball to.
Stan?
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily buy into it's a no-win situation if they go and beat a 1-3 Wisconsin football team. If they beat them by 21 points or more, I'm satisfied with that. I'm satisfied if they beat them by 1 point.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied if they beat them by 1 point. But the narrative will be out there if it's a close game and Michigan does pull it out there. Well, it's a 1-3 Wisconsin team, so it's really not an accomplishment.
And guess who Fox is sending out to do that game? Gus Johnson.
Yeah.
And where will Gus Johnson be on Friday at 2 p.m.?
Right
I
here.
think Brady's doing the game.
Right
with him.
here.
I think it's
On
Gus
the
and Brady.
bottom line.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn doing a game?
I believe so.
Woo!
I believe Brady and Gus are doing it this
Two
week.
of
I
our
talked to
favorites.
Brady yesterday for you, and he said he couldn't. He said he could do it later on this week. But yeah,
Nice.
it's Brady and Gus. Yeah.
How about that, man? Too bad that game's not in Ann Arbor. We could have gotten him here. Bought him a Mr. Spots Philly cheesesteak. And
There you go.
You know what's interesting, and I've been playing this game out in my head since Michigan barely won against Rutgers. I've been playing this game out against Wisconsin, and the thing is, we talked about it a couple of weeks before, and we were talking about Ohio State. We were talking about could Michigan beat Ohio State? Who could beat Ohio State? And we were just, like, Ohio State can score points. They can put points on the board. Penn State, Sean Clifford, they can put points on the board. Michigan was putting points on the board, but some things about big plays and not a lot of pass and things like that, they bother me. It's like, man, something seems jaded, or it seems like it's shaded a little bit from us. We're not really getting a chance to see them in certain situations. If Michigan can't score points in tough spots, you can't beat anybody.
Quickly. Stan, you got a thought on the Spartans at all before we get to the start of hour number 2 here?
They're
Give
a
me
good
thought
football
on the
team
Spartans.
because I think the Nebraska's a better football team than Rutgers is. So I think Michigan State has to be careful. I think they're starting to look toward that October 30th week. So they need to be careful because they got some games coming up that they could possibly lose. Michigan State's a good football team, but I think they do have a sense of when the closer that Michigan games get, they can get had.
There it is.
Western Kentucky could throw the ball, too, by the way.
Yeah.
They can.
Maz.
I'm just saying.
You don't think there's going to be an upset in
it's
East Lansing?
It's homecoming. I'm just saying Western Kentucky's not as bad as you think they are as well.
Stan, we appreciate it, my friend. We enjoy
Always.
our Tuesdays with you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, this was the fastest hour,
Honestly.
I think, in the we initially
We forgot, man, chill out and everything.
30 minutes, and then we just kept going.
It's 3 o'clock.
That was the fastest 60 minutes in the history of
Stan, I hope you didn't have anything to do.
the bottom line.
Who knows?
I forgot he was on for a whole hour.
We'll do our man chill out coming up in about 12 minutes. But coming up next, we're gonna dive back into some Lions talk. We'll do so with our Lions beat writer, Woodward Sports beat writer Kory Woods will join us momentarily. We'll get Kory's thoughts on everything happening out in Allen Park. Day off for the team today, but Kory will react to perhaps our assessment of the team and give us some news and notes from everything happening out in Allen Park. You good, Braylon?
I'm ready, man.
Buckle up, baby.
I see my boy Kory over there with the Hurt Business shirt on. Shout out to Bobby Lashley. I'm ready, man. Let's bring him on.
Buckle up. We are ready to go. Hour number 2 in about a minute. We'll be right back. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Opa! Introducing Papa Romano's new Greek pizza, a tasty blend of bold Greek flavors and Mediterranean toppings, including feta cheese and Greek dressing. Get a large Greek pizza for a limited time for $16.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey guys, it's Ryan here. I want to speak to you about Northwestern Tech. It is a career and a school that is always essential. The industry is the heating and cooling industry. There are jobs galore, good paying jobs, good paying career jobs. If you want to learn more, if you'd like a career in an industry that is always essential, we invite you to check it out by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Hour number 2 of the program, Armani and Edwards, Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, yes, Tom Mazaway alongside as well. That was one hell of an hour, if you ask me.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to give ourselves kudos or anything like that, but I will go ahead and give us kudos. That was one hell of an hour of streaming television, radio, however you would say it.
Man. You stand and manage, I killed it.
And we're going to kick off hour number 2 with another exciting guest. We've got Kory Woods in, our Woodward Sports Lions beat reporter.
How I'm gonna follow him? Follow this.
Kory, first of all, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. And it is no easy act to follow, Stan Edwards, but you're going to be just fine. How's that shirt, man? You like that shirt?
Hey, man, the Hurt Business, that represents Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Sheldon Benjamin. They got back together last night on Monday Night Raw, so shout out to the Hurt. It's too late. I forgot about MVP. It should have never broke up.
Should have never broke them up, but, WWE came to their senses and, had the rocket today.
Vince McMahon, man, what a genius guy that does a lot of bonehead things.
Kory, break it down for us. So let's get to this Lions game. You were there. What was it like being in the stadium when Justin Tucker clanked it off the crossbar?
Well, it's like I said yesterday on the Morning Woodward show. Being prior to taking the job, I'm a fan. So being at home and you watching those Lions moments, you're like, oh, you're mad, you're sad, you're depressed when those moments that only happen to the Lions, you witness it on TV. But actually being there at Ford Field, that's something totally different. I've never heard a stadium been in a stadium that went that cheering to silent that fast. So it definitely sucked the life out of the place.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to be in an atmosphere like that. That actually happened one time when I was in the NFL. We were playing, when I was with the Jets, I was with Cleveland. We were playing Baltimore. Same thing happened. End of the game, Phil Dawson goes up, hits the ball, hits the back part of the upright. So not even the upright. It hit the back part about it and went in, and Baltimore just got completely quiet, man. Sucked the life out of it. Where do they go from now, Kory?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, Braylon.
Yeah.
When the other teams are practicing before the game, do you guys go out there and say, hey, this guy's doing this guy's doing that while they're practicing? Do you run back and tell the coaches that? This is out for practice.
They have guys that do that for the coaches. They have guys that will watch each position and watch kickers, watch the quarterback, see what they're working on, and kind of maybe this might be something that they might use during the game. So if you talk about kicker kicking it from 65 plus,
because I'm saying like he was kicking 60-yarders and nailing them before the game. There's video. Did anybody just say that might not be a good idea to go get this guy 60 yards?
Well, he can do it. It's Justin Tucker.
He's hit a 61-yarder in Ford Field before.
He missed the 65-yarder in practice. He said it. I missed it in practice, and I'm just happy that they gave me a shot to redeem myself when it came down to it.
Yeah.
Kory, react to one of the things that I said yesterday that got a ton of hate, if you will, flack, was that I'm seeing things that are very similar to years past, regimes past. Why is this any different? And the people say, it took a 66-yarder all-time loss to get there. That's the point. That is the point. Just, everything that led up to that history-making loss for the Detroit Lions is exactly the point. Why is it different? It doesn't feel different right now.
Well, I'm going to say the regime right now, I think it's different. Just off of being at the practices, seeing the game, seeing how the players respond to the coaches, I think it's different. Just what happened Sunday, that's just the bad curse and juju of the Lions. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It can be Jim Schwartz, it can be Jim Caldwell, it can be Matt Patricia, it can be Dan Campbell. It's just that bad juju on the franchise that It seemingly can't shape. The Lions are just one of those franchises that bad things just has to happen to. But in the aspect of just, if you want to talk about that game, getting into that situation, some bad, questionable decisions in the end put Justin Tucker in position.
Why'd they call a timeout? What did he tell you guys?
Well, he said that the reason he called a timeout was they wanted to settle the defense and, to get the play. But here is my thing.
Settle the defense? They had him running all over the place.
But here's my thing. And I said that people want to talk about the delay of game. I think the delay of game was a cop-out because there were several things, in my opinion, that should not have happened going up into there. First off, when the Lions had the ball in the red zone, I felt they should have went. If they want to go ahead and go for the field goal, fine. But I felt they should have tried to get that first down, then go for the field goal, or just go ahead and try to punch it in and get the touchdown. That was my perspective because the thing is, granted, Lamar Jackson was not having the greatest day. He's still a former NFL MVP.
Yeah, like
Lamar Jackson is still dynamic. He's one of the, keep giving a guy so many chances to beat you. One of those ways, he's going to figure out how to beat you. So what happened? They played and settled for the field goal. They got it, but what happened when the defense did its job? But to Maz's point, why do you call a timeout on that 4th and 19 when you have them reeling? Your defense got in that drive, 2 sacks, incomplete pass. Yeah. Why not just let them? They're reeling. Why not go and trust your defense? Since you said that since you said you kicked the field goal because you trust your defense in that situation. But fine, you call a timeout. How, after coming out of a timeout, do you give up a 4th and 19?
What was Will Harris doing?
Well,
what was Will Harris doing?
In those two things, I think you hit on too that make me feel like it's very similar. Yes, they like this guy better than they like the last guy. They played hard.
That's not hard.
You're right. That's not hard to see. They hated the previous coach. They like this coach. I get it. It's great. And again, I'm not saying that it's not going to get turned around, but when is it going to get turned around? When you call a timeout, great. Call a timeout. Make sure everybody's on the same page during the timeout.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, Dan Campbell says, well, 10 guys were on the same page. 1 guy wasn't on the same page. How is that different? I'm asking the question. When you go for a field goal with a backup kicker that you just signed off the street, whose career long in an NFL game is 25 yards, you saw how quickly on Sunday Night Football, how quickly Aaron Rodgers and a good quarterback can get down the field. 2 plays it took Aaron Rodgers to win that game against the 49ers. 2 plays. Why would you allow that guy to get in a position to go 50 yards, which they did, and kick a field goal? I just don't get it.
He said that the odds were that Lamar Jackson would not. They were going to try to have Lamar Jackson beat them in that situation with his arm.
He did.
And he said that the odds were that
he wouldn't
do it. But he said the odds were that he wouldn't do it. But the thing is, that's where I said I disagree. The guy is still an NFL MVP.
Yeah,
Lamar he's a dynamic, runner as a quarterback, but he still throws the ball.
Kory, they didn't even rush him on 4th down. They didn't do what they did the first 3 downs. They called the timeout. The Ravens changed the play, and the Lions rushed 3 guys. And if you show the video, he had 10 minutes. He just sat there, and of course, Sammy Watkins gets open.
How big of a week is this? And when you get back to practice tomorrow and talk to the guys tomorrow, how big of a week of a practice is this going up against the Bears? Look forward now. Because, I'll play the old John Gruden, Frank Caliendo, win. You look at the schedule, and if you don't win this week, Braylon.
Chicago, yeah.
It's loss. If you don't win this week, if you don't win this week, you look at you're staring down 0-7 before Philadelphia comes here.
I think they could pull out one. I'm just going to say I think they could pull out one against the Bengals. I truly do.
I don't know about that.
It's to me, but I think the Bears game right now, with how the Lions have been playing and the way the Bears been playing, I think that's really a pick'em game. It's
whoever's at home.
I don't know where the Lions go from here if they do not win this week, but I believe that against the Bears and the way that defenses have been getting after Justin Fields, I believe that they have a shot.
I don't even know it's just about where do they go from here. I think it's where's the consistency? Like, what part of yourself do you believe in? And like I have said, they're not a good football team, so we need to start lowering our standards. But with that being said, like, when you gonna develop some sense of consistency? Like, one game it's nothing in the first half, then it's everything in the fourth quarter. Next game it's everything in the first half, nothing in the second half. Then the next game it's not too much of anything, but we'll do enough to try to hold Lamar Jackson to 17 or 19 points, not to mention he had 2 touchdowns that his receiver just didn't seem to want to catch. So where do you go from here? Like, where's the consistency in the run game? Like, where's the using the run itself the best?
I think where the Lions have to go from here is really focus on this offense, because I have seen the defense improve in each game.
They got 4 sacks on Lamar Jackson, which says a lot about what they're doing defensively. You have to show some credit to that.
Yeah, so I've seen things. I've seen them do things defensively, like, okay, you know what? First game, 49ers, we saw what it was. Second game, okay, it's Aaron Rodgers, but I still believe they played well. Just if he went down, things happen. Okay, everything went off the rails. Lamar, I don't really have a I don't have anything bad to say about the defense. I think they played as well as they could, but the offense did not give him a chance.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things is that Jared Goff does have to play better. He has to be a better thrower of the football, but also too, Jared Goff is not playing with the guys that he thought he was going to play with. He thought he was going to have, coming into training camp, he thought he was going to have a Terrell Williams, going to have a Brashad Perriman, going to have a Quintez Cephas as the number 3. This past game, he had Khalif Raymond, Quintez Cephas, Amon Ross St. Brown. Khalif Raymond was not brought in to be a number 3 or 4 wide receiver. He was brought in for the special teams.
Played pretty well, though.
He played well. And like I said, I've seen some things, some chemistry with them throughout preseason, but those are not guys that I think that he's going to get it done with.
Kory Woods, our Woodward Sports Lions beat reporter. Enjoy the day off. You don't have to. You could be Lions free today, baby.
Yeah, he's going worse. He's going to the Apple store.
Yeah,
that's worse.
Man. Yeah, I gotta get a few things fixed before I head out to Chicago. So I gotta go do the good old Genius Bar appointment.
Do you have the appointment already?
You said what?
Do you have the appointment already?
Oh, yeah. I'm no rookie at that one.
Yeah, you got to book that in advance. Follow him on Twitter, Kory Woods. My goodness. Great stuff, Kory. Thanks. Hey, let's do a little MCO next.
All right. Sounds
good. Coming up next, we'll do Man
Chill Out.
Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
We're getting this thing down.
Yeah, we are. We are, right? MCO. There we go.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Papa Romano's handcrafts pizzas that have made them a Detroit favorite for over 50 years. House-made dough, hand-cut veggies, and fresh cheese make all the difference. The same quality goes into all their pizzas, salads, subs, and pizzas. Order now at paparomanos.com. Opa!
Oh, man, look at that Italian sausage on that pie.
Thanks again to Joey and Papa Romano's last Thursday. That was last Friday. That was a nice surprise.
My goodness. Hey, guys, it is time for, well, it's well past the time, but we've been having so much fun today. But we like to do a little segment we call Man
Chill Out.
Are you think it's funny?
Chill, Daddy.
Pack your bags, get the hell off. Now, do you understand what you did?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Tom Mazaway, would you like to have the honors today?
I'll lead off.
Please.
Be my pleasure. It's coming down last week of the baseball season, regular season. By the way, congrats to the Brewers. They win the Central. The Cardinals on a 16-game win streak. The American League is off the hook right now. That could be a 5-way tie for the AL wild card by the end of this weekend.
My goodness.
The Yankees and Red Sox going out. Now the Yankees got to play Toronto. They got to play Tampa after that. Yesterday, the Tigers had a makeup day game against the White Sox, who won the American League Central for the first time in a long time. So congrats to Tony La Russa, the corpse over there in Chicago. And congrats to the White Sox. I dig them. I root for them a little. But yesterday, with the Tigers down 8-7, they were down big time, like 7-1 in this game. They get back, it's 8-7. Jose Abreu got hit by a pitch. He was 0-2 at the time. You think the Tigers are hitting Jose Abreu on purpose? Let me ask you guys.
No.
I mean, they're losing. They got him 0-2. They want to finish him off.
Dan Dickerson lost his mind yesterday.
Unbelievable. So the guy's on first. Let's take you to the play ensuing after that. Check it out. Little slide in.
Big slide in.
Slides in. Abreu not liking it, but he's telling them, I didn't like that you threw at me. Here come the benches. They're clearing. The White Sox have nothing to gain in this game. Just stay healthy, basically.
Nobody has anything
No,
to gain.
the Tigers aren't trying to throw at this guy.
No.
Here we go.
I'm not sure why Lang was in the middle of that, but Jose.
There's been a lot of clear-offs this year in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Look at Lang. He's like, man.
I mean, come on, man. Are you kidding me? Jose Abreu? And then Tony La Russa says, hey, the Tigers got issues. They got issues. They're like overachieving over there, and they kind of don't like when they get a little taste of their own medicine. That's what Tony La Russa said about A.J. Hinch and the Tigers, which I like, because that means they got some spunk. The Tigers got some spunk, because guess what? Next year, they're going to be right on your, you know what?
Going to be the Tigers and the White Sox.
They're going to be right on your butt next year. So let me tell you, Tony La Russa and the White Sox, Jose Abreu, men, chill out. Just go to the playoffs.
I was listening to that game a little bit yesterday on the way home, and Dan Dickerson was like, what is happening? He couldn't figure out like why Tony La Russa would think that the Tigers are trying to hit Jose Abreu.
Who knows?
Unbelievable.
He had one of those things my dad called earlier, a brain fart. Staying with the brain fart comment. Mine is a simple one, man. Lakers rookie come in, Austin Reeves, says he has picked up a nickname, and that nickname is Hillbilly Kobe. I'm from the Arkansas in the middle of nowhere. I grew up on a farm, so it kind of fits. Here's why I have a problem with that. Whoever gave him this nickname, so I hope someone gave it to him and this is something he made up. Like whoever gave Austin Reeves this nickname, first of all, Black Mama died, a year and a half ago, so it's still very fresh. No one should be naming anybody Kobe anything. There should be no Black Kobe. There should be no Mexican Kobe. There should be no Hillbilly Kobe. There should be no Kobe 2.5, no Kobe 2.0. No, just leave Mama's name alone. Leave Mama's name alone. Let him rest in peace. There will never be another Mama. I know it's fun and it's all fun and games. It's cute, but it's not. There's no such thing as a Hillbilly Kobe. There's only Kobe, and may he rest in peace. So to whoever donned that nickname for this young man, Austin Reeves, man, chill out.
I completely agree. Nobody should ever be called Kobe anything, let alone
Mamba, Kobe, nothing.
Let alone Hillbilly Kobe. I will. You do raise a very important question or point before I go with mine.
Right.
You got to give somebody a nickname. Like, you can't give yourself a nickname.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
I tried.
Like nobody could go through life and give themselves a nickname.
I tried. It felt miserable.
You gave yourself a nickname.
I did.
What was the nickname?
Ace.
Ace.
Yeah.
And can you explain the decision to call yourself Ace, and did it gain any traction?
So, I always wanted to wear number 1 in Michigan. I always told myself I was going to wear 1 in Michigan, so I made it happen. But along the way, I already had Ace planned for when I was going to wear number 1 in Michigan. It was going to be my nickname. So as soon as Coach Carr gave me the seal of approval, gave me the 9, I got the jersey, I told everybody on the team to start calling me Ace. I was like, yo, call me Ace. Don't call me Be Easy anymore. Just call me Ace. And everybody looked at me and was like, man, shut the hell up. I tried to get Ace off the ground, And it never even got into the beginning stages of becoming an idea that people were going to listen to.
That is a fantastic story.
I thought it would work. I said, I made all Big Ten. Now I got #1 jersey. Call me Ace.
Can I call you Ace?
Yeah, I want to call you Ace.
That's a great
I like
nickname.
the name.
It is
Great
a great
name.
nickname.
You guys can call me Ace. So finally, my dream has come true.
Oh, man.
Somebody's called me Ace.
I might start calling him Ace, man.
It only took.
Ace.
It only took 20 years later in the Man Chill Out segment for me to get called Ace.
Oh, man, I'm going Ace.
All right.
All right, guys, here we go. And it is in response to, and I mentioned it all day long, I think we have, all of the Twitter hate that I got based on the take yesterday. Terrible take. Just some of the comments for you, okay? Y'all losing credibility with this guy on your staff. Wow, terrible take. Clown. What's with all the Woodward haters? Doesn't 97.1 have the market cornered on bad takes? Do you just listen to Valenti and then regurgitate what he has to say? Please. Number one, we're on at the same time, so the answer is no.
Duh.
And number two, it's not a unique take.
It's not.
To think that the Lions are bad.
Yeah.
And to think that the Lions will always stay bad.
If I say 1 + 1 is 2, you can use that because 1 + 1 is 2.
Like that's not some what a lazy take. Like, what should the take be? That they play hard? Like what are I really want to know.
Hey, we already know they're undermanned and they play hard.
Right.
Okay, so can we take those two off the board? We know they don't have the players to stay with the real good teams. We know that they love Dan Campbell and they're playing hard for him. Other than that, it's all the same crap.
Thought you guys were supposed to talk up local teams. They're in a rebuild. Do you even understand what that means? Glad I don't follow or listen to you guys right now. You guys are right down there with 97.1. Be better. I am genuinely curious. So, first of all, to all of you people out there, man, chill out. But I am genuinely curious. Would you rather us come out here, me, I'll speak for myself. Would you rather me come out here and say, man, they really tried hard, and this Dan Campbell and this guy's really got things going on, and man, in year 2, they're really going to be rocking. In year 3, we're going to be competing for division titles. And
sound like Jenny Granholm.
Oh man! And then in year 4, Super Bowl.
You know what the problem is?
Is that what we're looking for?
Here's the problem. I feel as though when you're a home fan, because that's how the homers are here in Michigan. Like, you can't say anything about them whether it's true or not, right? I think they look to national shows. They look to outside the state to find the people that are going to tell them the truth. Like, they look outside to Colin Cowherd to tell you about the Lions, and they look outside to ESPN and Fox. But then in-state, they want you to be on their team. Like, they want you to, like, boost their morale, or they want you to coddle the Lions or the Spartans or the Wolverines or the Red Wings or the Pistons or whatever rebuilding team that we have, because they're all rebuilding at this point. They want you to, coddle them, and they want you to say nice things. That's not going to happen here. You're not going to hear nice things here. You're going to hear what we think to be the truth, or what thinks to be my opinion. And what you spoke yesterday wasn't just an opinion. It was facts.
Hey, guys, that was a great timeout they called, man.
Right.
I'm behind them. They should have called that timeout.
They only lost because he made it. He broke the record for field goal, right?
Exactly. Man. Anybody. That would have happened to anybody.
Yeah, anybody. If it worked, it would have been genius. By the way, I'm the same guy that tweeted out, where is it here? Let me just find it. I know this is good stuff. I will paraphrase for you. In the first half of the Green Bay Packers game, I really believe that the Lions could win the division this year.
It's awesome.
I am Mr. Positivity, okay?
Yeah.
The more information you have about a subject, the better informed your opinion can be about it.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing now ain't good so far. You can play close with these teams.
Yeah.
You lost a game by 8. You lost a game by double digits. You lost a game at the buzzer. What's the general theme there? You lost.
They're a really good 0-3 team. They are.
They're the best 0-3 team in the league.
They're up there. I don't know. I like the Colts better than them still at 0-3. I think the Colts are the best 0-3. Who cares who the best 0-3 team is?
Hey, I don't know about who the best 0-3 team is, but I'll tell you, one team that you said would compete, I did not think so. I was wrong. Braylon, you were very high on the Dallas Cowboys coming in.
Who gave to you last night, though?
You gave the Cowboys out once again last night. There's no doubt. But the Cowboys look for real, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about that and get into some Manning talk. Plus, Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick talked about Tom Brady on his weekly radio appearance. And, we'll have that for you.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Hey everybody, it's Maz. You know Levels and Centerline is open. That's right. Starting right now, you can get 10% off just by mentioning right here, Woodward Sports. Whether you're in the store or on the app, make sure you mention Woodward Sports to get you 10% discount. Everything from T-Grizzlies, gas to D-Max special strain and edibles, all available and all on sale now at Levels and Centerline. Download the Enjoy Levels app today and start saving.
Brother, I want to give you a little credit here. You talk about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. We know they could score touchdowns, but they can play defense
America's
now.
team, baby.
And that's really what's kind of makes them a threat in the NFC, I think.
Yeah, and they've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. And wow, they've only been playing, 3 weeks. But they've been talking about since the beginning of the season, is Micah Parsons someone you can build a defense around?
Yes.
Or should you be building a defense around a rookie linebacker? And the answer is what, Maz?
Yes.
Answer is hell yes. Like, this guy gets it. He's everywhere. He reminds me of Bobby Wagner when Bobby Wagner first came to Seattle, but I like his athleticism a little bit more. He drops in coverage as well. He's everywhere the ball is. He's everywhere where the play is. Like, you definitely can build and run a defense through a middle linebacker like that. But on the offensive side of the ball, Dak Prescott is just
so
lights
happy for him.
out. And the reason why he's so lights out is if you see first game of the season, they almost won. Tight game. They lose it. 400-plus passing yards. Next game, 300-plus passing yards. What I liked about the win this past Monday night is 238 yards passing, so it wasn't a 1,000 yards. He was 22 of 26. Got the ball where it was supposed to go. He looks amazingly confident. He looks amazingly good. He's playing with, they're getting everybody involved. You got the two-head running back monster now with Ezekiel Elliott, who finally had a game, 2 touchdowns, 95 yards.
Running
Pollard
hard.
is still in there running the ball well. He had 60 yards and a touchdown. And then you Gallups out, but then you use Schultz, rookie tight end. Everything about the Dallas Cowboys, offense, defense, special teams, the young guys are playing well. Like, that's the formula for winning football. And they still got Trevor Lawrence out. When Trevor Lawrence DeMarcus Lawrence. When DeMarcus Lawrence is on that defensive line for the Cowboys, he's one of the top 5 in his position in the NFL. He's still out. Zach Martin still hasn't played. So when they fully come together as a full team, this could be something special that you're seeing. And I had them pick before the season started. Like I said, that Bucs game and them was going to be a preview of the NFC Championship game. Now I might be off by one team, and it wasn't the Cowboys.
NFC East champions.
Just
give it to them.
Just gonna say,
just give it to them.
Clear path to the division champion.
Washington, I don't know what the hell happened to their defense, but they're not the same team either.
Not at all. By the way, Dak's record against the NFC East, 11-1.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
11-1.
Didn't realize that, but the Dallas Cowboys mine.
And he should have had a touchdown last night on the ground. They called it. He scored, and they said he didn't.
Yeah. So that's certainly a team to keep your eye on, the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. Did you guys see the Mannings last night?
Oh, man, you got a lot of Mannings.
So Eli did a tribute, and we're going to talk about this game coming up. Eli did a tribute from Brady and Belichick. Take a look at this.
I don't want to embarrass you, but congratulations on having your number retired yesterday. That's awesome, bro. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, it was a special day. The crowd was amazing. Great response. And be there with my teammates and coaches was really special.
Eli at Giants Stadium.
Every victory, you earned them all. An amazing quarterback. You displayed everything that it takes to be.
Look at that. That's
one of the
kryptonite to him.
Greats.
Isn't that Eli's son?
Congratulations on your 16-year franchise record
Look at Bill.
career with the New York Giants.
How about that?
He
There
gave
you
them
go.
2 losses in the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine?
Tom Brady and Bill.
And they were. I mean, they were wins for the Patriots, right? I mean, they pulled them out of the. Those were 2 wins for the Patriots.
There were a lot of situations that happened in those games, and it could have went the other way. They could have easily won both of those, but they didn't. And when the play was needed, Eli always came through and made a play. He's an awkward quarterback. He has an awkward playoff history with him, but he always wins.
He seems awkward. Period.
In life.
Hey, he's a funny kid, man.
I got
funny
an Eli
dude.
Manning story.
He's the youngest of the 3 Mannings.
Yeah,
he takes a lot of flack from Cooper and Peyton.
Cooper's the funniest.
He gives it back to him right now, man. He gives it back to them.
Yeah,
what's your Eli story?
We were in New York, and this would have been the year I was getting drafted. So this was the week.
05?
This is 05. This is the week of. And keep in mind, he's the number 1 pick overall the year
04.
previous. We were in New York, which should be his city. We were at a club called Marquee. Marquee is like the hot spot back then. Everybody was there, like the who's who that were in New York would go and party at Marquee, right? So I've always had a mouthpiece. So I've always been able to talk. I could talk to anybody. It wasn't just being a first-round pick. I also can talk. So I'm walking into the club, and I see Eli just standing off to the side. It's like Eli, I think he was with a friend or two, I don't know, but he's standing off to the side, and he looks confused, which is a normal look for Eli, but he's outside the club, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, Eli, what's up? Oh, hey, Braylon, how's it going? I'm like, you coming in? He was like, I mean, they're a little strict at the door. I'm like, you're the starting quarterback for the Giants. So I looked at the doorman. I was like, man, this is Eli Manning, starting quarterback for the Giants. This is Eli. This is him. And so he walks in with me. So I had to get him into the club. He was just so shy.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine somebody from the 1980s Giants team just standing outside of a club? Hell no.
LT would have broke the door down.
LG would have. He would have
standing outside Studio 54.
Oh my
Let
God!
me in. Let me in.
They had great guests last night, by the way.
Yeah,
as well.
I want to get to that. Stafford was on last night. LeBron was on last night, but Stafford was on last night too. Play that one.
Matthew, both these quarterbacks were at our football camp. Dak and Jalen, you were at our camp back in 2008. I got to tell you, I've never told you this. Eli and I were arguing over who had to throw after you because you were throwing the tightest spiral. I remember you were throwing like a post route. You waited till the receiver got to like 60 yards before you threw it.
That was
like
babyface Matthew.
Hit the cutoff man to make a throw go 60 yards.
Babyface Matthew.
Neither
Stafford,
one of those
pick.
guys wanted to follow Stafford in that camp because he throws that 60-yard spiral. You hear Peyton Manning saying, for me to throw a 60-yard, I would have to hit a cutoff man. I mean, this is one of the greatest quarterbacks who ever lived saying that.
Maz, we always know about the arm strength,
yeah, we knew
right?
The arm strength. It's what comes with the arm strength. But
he was a stud quarterback.
He's always been the raising Cajun as it relates to that arm, comparable to Brett Favre.
Guys, can I change it up for a little bit? It is going to be the game of the week, and we're going to talk about this for the rest of the week, probably. It is
rest of life.
Tom Brady and the Bucs going to New England to play Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Just an incredible thing. So here's Bill Belichick and NBC Sports Boston Tom Curran going back and forth on Brady. Take a listen to this.
You spoke on WEEI today about Tom Brady looking at his options, and he decided Tampa was a better option. Why weren't the Patriots a better option for him when both Robert Kraft and Brady himself said over and over how much they wanted him to finish his career here?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to go back and rehash all that. We've talked about that. It really,
You've never talked about it with us.
My focus is on the game here. And look, I have so much respect and appreciation for Tom and everything he did here and for me and for our team. And, we're just getting ready to compete against Tampa this week, and we're going to keep our focus on that.
But you talk about rehashing dynamics that you've already gone through. You've never done that.
we made a statement when Tom left, and that covered it.
You surprised how well he's played? He's thrown 61 touchdown passes in 23 games down there. Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Tom's a great player. Nothing surprises me that he does.
How'd you like to be? You want to play on the East Coast? That's what you get.
I wrote this note when I was watching that this morning. I wrote this note. I said, you know who he sounded like? He sounds like the jealous boyfriend or the jealous girlfriend when it was their fault the relationship ended and that person that they did wrong is in a great relationship, probably married, has a kid since then, living a job, living the dream, got a promotion. Because he just sounded so hard-pressed to say anything nice or be complimentary of Tom and the relationship. You just felt like he's so upset with the moves that he made inside the organization and trying to bring in Jimmy G and then trying to get rid of Gronk and thinking it was him and his ego. He's made some bonehead moves getting rid of Chandler Jones. Like, you can tell that this one sticks in his craw, and he will do everything in his power, including probably Spygate and some other stuff, to win this game Sunday.
Who wants this game more, do you think? Don't answer that question now. Who wants this game more, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? I'll pose that question to you guys now, and I want you to answer it 30 seconds from now. Take a break, come right back. Armani and Edwards.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey guys, there's nothing like a good defense. If offense wins games, defense certainly wins championships.
Yes, they do.
And as a homeowner, as the king of your castle,
gotta be the king of your castle.
Don't you want to defend it?
I do.
Guardian Alarm wants to defend it.
That's what I'm talking about.
They are your local security experts. They can do anything. It's got convenient features as well. You can check in on your home, control your lights, the temperature of your home. You can detect smoke and carbon monoxide. Don't you want to do that?
You can do all that stuff?
As the king of your castle, defend it, please. And all you have to do if you want to learn more is call 800 Stay Out. Once again, that number to call, 800 Stay Out. Please call Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Oh, that's cool.
Who wants it more, man? Who wants it more, Braylon Edwards?
Biggest regular season football game ever.
It might be.
It might be. This might be biggest regular season football game ever. I think it's a no-brainer. Belichick wants this game more. One, it's his fault Tom Brady's no longer there. Two, Tom has already proven he doesn't need Belichick. He's won a championship. Had an MVP season last year. With the exception of being 1-2, is having an MVP season stat-wise this year. I think Tom wants to win. Tom hopes to win. The team's not doing so good. It would be a nice morale booster to jump into 2-2 doing it against the Patriots. But I think Belichick wants this game more. I think it's not even close.
Oh, my man. They both want it. I'm not going to cop out. They both want it equally, but the Patriots have no chance to win this game. No chance whatsoever. They're going to kill poor Mac Jones. Have you seen that defensive line for the Buccaneers? If they unleash Sue and company, and who's the guy next to him?
They haven't played that
Golston.
well. You know, JPP didn't play last week. Devin White hasn't gotten off that start. The secondary is depleted. That's why they're meeting with Richard Sherman at secondary. So I'm agreeing with you 100%. The Bucs are a much better team. It's not even close. They're much better, but they haven't necessarily shown it. So if ever there was a time to catch Tom, if ever there was a time for the Bucs to play Tom, it's
Thanks,
right
Alex.
now.
Vita Vea.
Yeah,
you put those
William
two guys
Golston's down there.
I know, but they got no chance, man. What's the spread on this game?
I don't know.
I got to look it up.
You look it
I'll
up.
take the Buccaneers right now. I'll put anything
You
on
still
it.
didn't answer the question, though. Who wants it more, Belichick or Brady?
Brady wants to stuff it down his face.
So I agree with you, Braylon.
Yeah.
I think that Bill Belichick wants this game more for all of the reasons that you said.
Yeah.
Brady wants to win. Obviously, they both want it as bad as they could taste any victory in a regular season ever before.
Agreed.
But because Tom can fall back on the Super Bowl championship without Bill Belichick, Belichick wants this one more. He wants to beat Tom Brady more than Tom Brady wants to go back and win.
Patriots are a 7-point home underdog to the Buccaneers. I say give till it hurts. Brady will throw for 5 touchdowns.
Oh, Brady would definitely run it up if he can.
So both these guys know each other like the back of their hand, right? Which I don't know the back of my hand that well, so I don't know where that analogy came from. But who has the leg up on this? Is it Bill Belichick knowing everything that Tom Brady likes to do as a quarterback, knowing all his calls, all his signals, everything he likes to do, all of his strengths, all of his weaknesses? Or is it Tom Brady who knows every last thing about a Bill Belichick-led defense, every strength, every weakness, who has the leg up?
Tom Brady has the leg up because he's never been on an offense like this in terms of like the weapons that he has at his dispense at the wide receiver position / tight end position. I don't think he's ever had an offense as talented as this one. But the other part about it is not even just that. He has the leg up because he has the better team. He's on the better team. He can use what he knows about Bill Belichick to exploit it. He can actually use it. Belichick knows everything about Brady, but he doesn't have that good of a team. So he can't necessarily exploit everything that he knows. So I think it comes down to they both know the same about each other. Tom Brady's on a team where he actually can use what he knows. I don't think Belichick can use what he knows. He'll have a couple good schemes. They'll do a little zone, some stunning. They'll do some things that will probably lead to a sack or lead to a 3-and-out. They'll do some good things, but far and few in between from what Brady's going to be able to do all game.
Is there just Tom Brady, let's just say, you say the number 7, Maz. I mean, do they let up or do they just keep going?
No, he's going to pound them. And guess what? The fans are going to be cheering for it.
You think
They're going to go against the Patriots this week. But that's that's going to be the weirdest thing that you're ever going to hear. They're going to root for Brady over their home team.
In Boston, they're going to do that.
That's what I think.
I disagree. That fan base is too. Nah, they're still mad at Belichick, but it's still, New England still being town. They're still going to be on the side of that because they'll have to go back and look at that. That was the thing. Speaking of looking at that, they booed the Patriots. They booed Belichick in favor of Brady. Does Brady look at it and say, you know what? I don't want to do the fans like that? Does Brady look at it and say,
no.
as it gets close and they know they're going to win, he can start running the ball with Ronald Jones, or he can, little dinks and dunks? Or does he step on the pedal, put the gas to the floor?
B.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he put the pedal to the metal?
Without question. I mean, I just think
I guess you're taking it to Belichick, yeah.
When you're a guy like Tom Brady and you're playing game.
He never forgets.
Well, when you're playing this long, and Michael Jordan did the same thing, and we learned that in The Last Dance. He took these little things to give him fuel to keep going. Like a newspaper clipping from 6 years ago.
Some of it he made up.
And made up
about
stories.
The rookie kid from Washington, he said something to him.
About opposing players just to generate enough fuel to go put his foot on your throat collectively. I think this is going to be a fascinating thing. And you raise an interesting point, Braylon, too. We'll go back tonight, all three of us. This may be the most anticipated game in the history of regular season football in the National Football League. Did Joe Montana and the Chiefs ever go back to Candlestick? I mean, we have to think about that. I mean,
but even that, I guess that's a good one.
I mean, is that, Reggie White as a member of the Green Bay Packers going back to Philadelphia? Maybe we can come up with a list tomorrow as I'm thinking about these things now. Just in the modern era of football, from 1970 on, Name me 5 games that were as anticipated as this one is Sunday night.
Well, last week, Rams-Bucks was really a highlight. Packers-San Francisco was a game that people wanted to watch, but nothing with a storyline like this.
You're talking about just this season. I'm talking about ever.
Yeah. I'm just giving you the last. This past weekend was amazing.
No, it was amazing, but we're talking about something that's never been done ever. 20 years, one team.
How many?
7 rings, and then you leave and go win a ring, and it's the beef, the back and forth. The only comparable thing would be, like you said, if it was Joe Montana when he went back with the Chiefs to Candlestick, and it was because it's 4 rings with Bill Walsh.
I'm trying to figure out what the ratings were,
right,
Braylon, because whatever the rating was,
and I don't think Bill Walsh was even the coach then, so that doesn't matter. I think Seifert was the coach by the time Joe left to play. I think Seifert was the coach, so you didn't even get the same effect.
Whatever the highest rated game in Sunday Night Football history is, don't double it, but half it.
Okay.
You think it's a Super Bowl number?
No, I don't think it's 100 million, but. And I don't know how many people watch Sunday Night Football generally.
Who don't?
How do you not?
How do you not?
Whatever that number is, let's just whatever that number is. Let's say it's 4 million. I don't know.
Nah, it's got more than that.
Okay, let's see. Keep talking for a second.
It was like 1.5 million.
Let me see.
It was 1.5 million that watched the Mannings alone. And I think it was 13 million that watched. This is 2 weeks ago. That's 13 million right there.
Just on a Monday night.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday night dwarfs Monday night right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's 40 million at least.
Yeah.
Okay, the average viewership of Sunday Night Football is 15.6 million. Double it.
Yeah.
30 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about the entire state of Florida, the entire state of Massachusetts, the entire New England region.
California, they love Brady.
Michigan. I mean,
what football fan don't want to watch that? Just take football fans. It might be 30 million.
So incredible.
And he's a polarizing figure too, so it's one of those things where you can sell the story to people that don't even follow football. It's like, hey, because they've heard of Tom Brady. Say, hey, you know Tom Brady? Oh yeah, the guy, the quarterback and the model wife. Well, he's playing against his former team that did him wrong, got rid of him, and he won Super Bowl. Now they're playing together. What? All right, that's something. You can sell that to anybody.
My wife might not even yell at me for watching football.
You can sell that to anybody.
Your wife don't sit down and watch the games with you?
Oh God, she's like,
come on, Nicole.
She will.
Come on, Nicole.
She thinks that I consume. She cannot believe how much football I'm able to consume.
Wow.
Yeah. I can watch 5 straight days of football. It'd be just. I need more.
So can I can watch every single game. I just rewatched today before I came to work the Rams and the Buccaneers. I rewatched it.
You want to take.
I wanted to look at it. I watched Joe Buck and Troy Aikman ooze over Matthew Stafford again. I loved the game. It was a great game. If you were rooting for Matthew Stafford, of course.
Yeah,
Gronk took a beating in that game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I love Thursday to Monday for me. It's Thursday to Monday. And then have that break on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wednesday, you're gassed.
I'm ready for more. Remember last year?
When's Maction coming?
Do you remember last year when they had the makeup games on Tuesday and Wednesday? Yeah. I was so happy. I was so happy.
When's Maction coming?
Forget Maction. Give me NFL every day. Every day.
Over under touchdown passes, Brady to Gronk 1.5.
Well, if Gronk has to play. He's gonna play, but he is definitely banged up.
1.5 touchdowns, Brady to Gronk.
Over.
I'm taking the over.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Beautiful. Hey, guys, we got some great bottom line videos of the day next.
It's that time already?
I'm telling you, this might be the fastest show we've ever done in the history of our lives.
We didn't even do the Pistons yet.
No, we'll get to them tomorrow.
All right.
Hermione Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey everybody, it's Maz for BetQL, the only app you'll need to beat your sports book and makes those smart bets. Don't forget their computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across the major sports. It gives you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. How about it, huh? Plus their platform's got all the data and analytics you would ever need for your own betting research purposes. They do it for you. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store right now, download BetQL, or go online to try.betql.co/WSN. Get started, enter that discount code WSN at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscriptions and maybe a special offer to receive a free year of BetQL. Don't miss out your chance to beat the sportsbook this season with BetQL.
Friday Night Clash. Every Friday we broadcast one of the best games in Metro Detroit on Woodward Sports in conjunction with Planet Fitness and The Prep. This Friday night, man, it's going to be a good one. Brother Rice versus Orchard Lake St. Mary's. When I was in high school, it was 2000, this year 2000, Brother Rice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's is the best game that I ever went to in person. It was a great shootout. Brother Rice won, but Orchard Lake St. Mary's ended up winning the state championship that year. On Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, 9 p.m. Hey, our buddies Joey and Stick do a great job of putting together this content, man. It's amazing. Go check it out. It's fun to watch. Fish, what you got for me, buddy?
Action starts Tuesday, November 2nd.
Oh, can't wait for that. How about it? Ryan Amani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Alex Mayer and the Great Fish.
Al May.
Al
He doesn't like that
May.
nickname, tell me.
No, I do like it.
Oh, you like it now?
Yeah, no. I've had that nickname since, like, middle school.
Oh, I thought you said don't call you.
How you doing in there, Alex?
It's a little hot. I shouldn't have worn a hoodie today. But okay.
Man, you messed up with the hoodie. Fish, you good over there in the short sleeves today?
I'm fine.
Yeah. Does it get hot in there? You got any air circulating in there?
I mean, we have a vent on the top and bottom that I don't know what it does, but I'm told it does something.
Well, you got to open it up. You got to open it up.
I mean, I can't close it, so.
Hey, Fish,
It's
shout
just
out to
open
Team USA,
automatically.
man. All that stuff that we talked before the Ryder Cup started, I think we gave them that good energy, man. Shout out to Fish. Ryder Cup champs, baby.
You guys had it.
Yeah.
You guys weren't messing around. I'm telling you, you were not messing around.
Matt, did you watch?
Not a thing. More NFL, please.
Consume the
Are you going to watch the CFL tonight?
Oh, wow. CFL tonight?
Yes, sir. Tuesday night.
Nice. Maybe I will.
Maz is looking for a number on the CFL.
Who's playing? The Eskimos? Oh, they're not the Eskimos
looking
anymore.
for a number on
But
the
you know what
But they are playing. It's the Elks and the Red Blacks.
The Elks and the Red Blacks of Ottawa.
Oh, man. Is that a new name?
Yeah. The Elks, not the Eskimos anymore.
Why?
Because
because
it's
of
no good.
Yeah,
You
it's the
can't be
same
an
thing with
Eskimo.
Washington.
What do you
Eskimo.
mean you can't be an Eskimo?
You can't be an
That's
Eskimo.
offensive.
Eskimos are out.
They could have changed it to the Inuits.
They're out. You can't be an Eskimo.
That's offensive.
It's offensive.
Is that your man chill out?
Oh, man. I didn't know. I'm learning.
Now you know, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
I'm learning.
Don't you dare say it on
I'm
the air.
learning what's offensive and what's
All
not
right.
by the day. Hey, guys, it's time now for the bottom line videos of the day. We start with Jamal Williams, Mike Robinson, Penei Sewell, and DeAndre Swift with a watch party. Take a look.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy J Bug, Jamal Williams here, hanging out with my boy Real Mike Rob. What's going on, people? Y'all better get up. Let's go. Yes, sir. Then we got right here my boy
Penei Sewell in the building.
Yeah. You already know. Last but not least. Say it one more time. Let them know.
Swift in the building.
Let them know. We out here, y'all. About to be on this Pizza Hut home gating watch party. Watch out for it, boy. We coming. Yee.
Better than him.
Nobody. That guy is something, man. I bet you the Packers are going to miss him when it comes down to it at the end of the season.
He'd be one of those moves where, like, the Packers, like, realize they botched that one up and try to get him back. He'd be one of those, yeah.
How many times when you were in the league, Braylon, did you guys get together and watch a game? Is it more of the younger guys, or do you do it when you're older, or what's the case?
I think everybody does it. I think the young guys do it because they don't have anybody else to mess around with. They don't have family at that time, wife and kids. I think the older guys do it because they do have family, wife and kids. So I think everybody does it, but for different reasons. It's fun, I think the big thing that's fun about it is you got the next day off. So you come into it, man, whether you win or lose, you go over the material on Monday, you make the adjustments, then you know that you have Tuesday off, so you get a chance to relax, kick it, enjoy a beer and some chips and a bro with some conversation with your brother and teammate. It's team building too. Like, it's good team building stuff.
So good.
Yeah.
Love it. Mads, what do we got next?
We've got angry Lion fans from Sunday afternoon. You think you were upset?
About that.
You think you were upset? Well, check out this little video ditty outside Ford Field.
Press that nigga, bro. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going. Get in there. Get in there. I was going. Get in there. Get in there.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Keep
guy
on.
knocked out too.
Keep on drinking.
He's holding his left down a little bit. You got to bring it up.
Oh, keep drinking.
You got to bring
yeah.
that left up a little
That's
bit.
good. Good job, Alex, with the
man.
pull down. Good job, Alex, with the pull down curse words.
I know exactly what
I
they
like
are.
that.
Don't you
that.
just love it? Don't you just love it when a team
Look at those.
Why
Angry
are they fighting?
Lion fans.
Don't you just love it when teams fight themselves?
Like,
That's Lions fans fighting each other.
I know, but that happens at every stadium.
why are they fighting?
Because they're idiots.
But what are they?
I think you have more fights in stadiums when your team is 0-3, right? A history of losing versus teams that are winning. I don't think Ravens fans are fighting themselves outside MT&T Bank Stadium.
I'd love to know what started that. What started that fight?
I think the one guy had a Ravens jersey on. So I'm sure
He
they
wasn't
said
even
something
fighting.
to him. No, I saw they said something to him before you know it, two other guys. I had a guy that didn't want to let me. I had my kids in the car today driving them to school. I had my youngest daughter, Maddie, and two of her girlfriends in the back, 14-year-old kids. And I had a truck trying to run me off the road on 696. And the guy was like looking at me, flashing his lights. I was going 80 miles an hour in the middle lane on 696. And this guy wants to get around and get in front of me for no reason. I mean, that's what you ask me why they fight? Because people are idiots. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
A little liquid courage.
That's
Bottom line. Hey, guys, Cowboys honored Jimmy Johnson last night at the game as well. Hall of Famer Jimmy Johnson.
First of all, I want to thank Jerry Jones for giving me the opportunity. I want to thank some great assistant coaches. I want to thank some great players like Charles, all the guys that we had. And I want to thank some great fans. The only thing other than that I've got to say, how about them Cowboys?
We all knew it.
And we all knew. Goose
We all
pimples.
knew it.
Goose pimples.
That was great, huh?
Goose pimples.
That's how they honor. By the way, that's how
I
they
was waiting for
honor
him to say, how do you not?
their Hall of Famers last night. Drew Pearson was there as well. Bunch of other guys. They're getting their rings.
Jimmy Johnson definitely a part of that class of 2020, but because of COVID last year, not allowed to be honored last year. So this year, just looking back at that, he didn't necessarily have the best exit out of Dallas either,
No.
man. That was a mistake.
He fought with Jerry.
I was about to say, you talk about an owner that wished that they could have it back. Jerry made a mistake. Jerry made a mistake.
No
with that
doubt.
one. Yeah.
He got Barry Switzer he wound up winning a Super Bowl by
he did.
accident.
Exactly. He won Super Bowl because he still had that great team.
Yeah, because they had a great team.
Him,
Hey, by the way, that's how it sounded in Dallas for a Hall of Fame ring thing, and obviously we had the booing on Sunday here. We didn't get a chance to talk to you about that. How about a minute on that, Bray? Booing Sheila Ford Hamp and the Lions on Sunday.
The one thing I did like about it is it says that the Lions fan base sides with Calvin Johnson. They feel that they appreciate everything that he did here, what he stood for. He left it all out there on the field. That says a lot because I think even Calvin probably was a little nervous just thinking about the rumblings of some people talking about he left them hanging, etc. It's probably an interesting moment. He probably didn't know what to expect, and they loved him. And then Sheila Ford Hamp comes out, and you saw the welcome and the roar that she got, which wasn't a good one. I think it's more of a Lions just looking at her as representation. It's looking at her as front office representation. Not necessarily that she made the moves or she has the effect. And a lot of that booing wasn't just Calvin. That was Barry and every other thing that has come up in the past 30, 40 years. They were all Matt Millen and 0-16. I think all that was kind of coming out at the same time. But Sheila has a chance to do something right by that. She just got to do what Matt said. Give up that check.
Right.
Give up that bread.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, hey, guys. So what a good day today out of both of you guys. I'll tell you, Braylon, it is so great to sit next to you every day, my friend.
Love you, brother.
I'm telling you, way to pick me up today, too.
Hey, man, got you.
Gassed. It wasn't that I was gassed. It was that I was emotionally hurt today by all of the hate.
It hurts. Hate hurts.
By all of the negativity surrounding the Detroit Lions.
I think the other big thing that hurts, and like I said, I've talked to you about my situation when the Michigan fan base, it kind of came after me. I think the big thing that hurts is that your passion is the passion for you wanting a winner. You being there for all the losing. You being there for the Hail Mary. You being there for, the field goal for Justin Tucker and just the consistent losing. So, you're giving out the what happens, and this is what it is, and you want to get over it, you're tired of that. People attack that. You're like, man, this is passion. This is true.
Right.
I've been there. Like, I'm a loyal fan, so out of hell with them.
I mean, I have feelings. Thanks. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here until tomorrow. Hey, tell a friend about us as well. Let them know about the Morning Woodward Show. Let them know about Big D Energy.
Yes,
you can check
sir.
us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitter. Anywhere where podcasts are found, you can do so right now. Please hit the like button as well when you see us. Subscribe on YouTube. We are Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
For wanting to come see me. I mean, that's crazy. Like I said, I grew up just loving basketball and wanted to, be as good as I can at it. And so to be here now is crazy. So I'm excited to be playing for a city that's excited for me, really.